What's good? It's your boy Cameron Gastonia native, battle rapper, artist, producer, man of many monikers, and we rocking with Grandosiá Entertainment.
Welcome back to another great show on Grandosiá TV, where I have my man Cameron sitting in front of me. We're about to have a great interview, talk about his up-and-coming rap battles he have, the battles that he had, things that he's doing in music now, moves he's making, what should we expect coming for 2021. But before we get into the interview, everybody, make sure you hit the subscribe button, share this post, share this video, hit the notification bell so anytime we go live, you will be up to date on all new shows on Grandosiá TV. With that being said, Cameron how you doing today, man?
I'm lovely, man. I'm lovely. I'm feeling blessed. It's good to be back in the battle world. We're gonna have a real good conversation today.
Gotcha. Now you said something just now. You said you back in the battle world. Tell the people, man, where you been there? What's been going on in your life? Why we took a little moment, took a little time off? Tell us why we get back in.
For a long time, I was leaving it alone, man. I was done with it. I did a stint in a league called Carolina Premier, where I conducted myself amongst the many politics behind everything. It just, on top of that, and all my kids that I have, because a lot of people don't know, I got 7 kids, man.
7.
I got 7 kids. So when it comes to time and having some room to move with the time you have, it's a hard thing to do. But in a combination of it, for a long time, I was done with it, man. I did my last 2 battles before this return in Richmond, Virginia, and I wasn't even scheduled to battle.
Okay.
I was going out there to support another person that was also on the channel, Frankie Lou, and they had a back out. So on the spot, I did a battle. And then later on that night, somebody that was supposed to be on the same crew with me, which was another reason why I decided to walk away from it for a while, turned their back on me and called me out after I done got turned and done got unfocused on battling and just was ready to watch the rest of the battles. But in retrospect, it got me a battle hosted by OG Moon from Smack. If anybody know who that is, they know that's a big deal. So one of my last battles from where I just left was hosted by Moon himself.
Gotcha.
So in a way, it was kind of a lookout. But pretty much the politics behind it, man. I couldn't deal with it. Not back then with my mentality. My mentality was not focused around conducting yourself properly as business, and I had that street mentality and that prison mentality still stuck in my head.
Gotcha. Now, let's go back to it real quick. You said one of your guys turned their back on you. What happened with that? Why did that become a situation to where they turned their back on you out there in Virginia?
It was like a last minute thing, really. Jay Burner was his name. We used to be part of a thing called Stoners Nation. And I thought it was a funny situation because I talked to him hours before we even left North Carolina, headed that way. For Frank Louis even came and picked me up. We was talking on the phone. He like, oh, I got you this brand made shirt. I got all this nice stuff you waiting in Virginia and stuff. Gotcha. Then as soon as we crossed that state line, crickets. So I was like, something's up. Something's up. And he know I'm not even supposed to be there. So in my mind, I'm figuring he made the turn off of shock value.
So you didn't supposed to be there because
I wasn't booked.
Gotcha, okay.
I wasn't booked. That was in the process of me laying it down. Okay. That was the last thing I did battle rap wise. I think it's, as of last year when I came back, I'd been gone for 5 years. Collectively, I've done it 16.
Gotcha.
So you got to think, when it comes to seeing stuff coming, I got a good eye for that because I've been around long enough to know what's going to happen. It's kind of like with WWE with wrestling. Gotcha. You can almost tell what's going to happen. It's so oversaturated. So,
True.
But I think it's part of the politics. Him hearing people not want to deal with me business-wise, me having footage vaulted, and the other league, the Carolina Premier League, going sour. I feel like that was part of why he kind of kicked me out of Stoner Nation and made that turn on me.
Gotcha. So, with all that going on, let's go back to the beginning before we jump to the end. What got you into doing battle rap? What made you fall in love with it? And what made you come back to it?
What got me into battle rap? I would have to say, growing up watching people like Frankie Lou, .com. If people don't know, .com is another legend of Gastonia when it comes to battle rapping. My father actually had a really good friend named Jarius Foster, a.k.a. Weapon Lord.
Okay.
He still to this day does it. And that's the person that taught me how to freestyle and taught me how to battle rap. But to go really what made me fall in love with it, I have to go to the beginning of all of my anything to do with music. At 14, my pops was on the way to prison for a long stint. I'm not gonna get into it on here because of obvious reasons, but everybody knows my pops was past the plug. He was the whole outlet.
Gotcha.
But right before he went, I told him I wanted to go into music producing because all my friends at school either battle rapped or they did music of their own. So I was like, I want to be able to do this. I don't know about rapping, but I know I want to produce all my friends.
Right.
So he go out and buy me a Dell computer. He bought me Sony Acid 6, a USB microphone, and a pop screen.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I started from scratch, learned all of it. Weapon Lord actually set me down and showed me how to mix and how to sample and all that. And then about a year later, I ended up having, at any given time, 15, 16 people from different schools sitting in my mama's living room waiting to record.
There you go.
And then naturally sitting around, battles would start. And it being my mother's living room, I'm like, if y'all gonna do that, I'm about to capitalize. Somebody gotta teach me how to do that. So that's around 15 when Weapon Lord set me down. And when I say sit me down, I don't mean we had a one-on-one. I mean every time he seen me, on sight.
Right.
He at my neck. There been times I left my own mama house because he done me so dirty. But just to be all honest, yeah, it was just watching everybody I liked and everybody that I was actually making a lot of money at 15 off of everybody from different schools. So
Just record.
that's what got me into it.
Gotcha.
What made me fall in love with it was the look on people's faces, and not to make it like a race thing because it really ain't, but to an extent, to some people it is. But I come from the 90s era. I come from my listening and my observation. I learned about hip hop in the 90s when I was a kid. So coming into teenage, I already have this knowledge of it. And I came from the era that if you was whack, you liable to get jumped in Firestone, Mountain View, or Love Heights.
Right.
If you was whack and you jumping the cypher, you getting jumped. And it's even twice as hard back there in them days when you're white and trying to do it because ain't no other white rappers out there.
Right.
None.
Eminem took off, so, yeah.
I think that was like maybe 6, but all of them was grown at that time.
Right.
Because I hit the scene before Wordplay. I hit the scene before, what was his name? Celsius. A handful of these white rappers wasn't around when I came around.
Gotcha.
And I birthed a lot of these white rappers. Like one of the honorable mentions that I won't never forget is Stray. Like rest in peace of Stray. But that's what got me involved in it. What got me hooked on it was when I started winning. Back to back to back to back. And that didn't come in the beginning, but the biggest part of just that was the winning part was you had to freestyle. Battle rap nowadays is totally different.
Yes,
Back then, you had to freestyle. You come with written stuff, you gonna get called out on it, you're gonna get chewed out on it, and 9 times out of 10, they gonna edge it to the next person no matter how good your stuff was, just because they solely freestyle.
All right, before you finish that thought though, in that time period, you being white, you winning, what was the attitude from the ones that lost, and what was the attitude from the people cheering you on?
Oh, man. To an extent, some of the people I lost, that they lost to me, we built relationships off of it or we got cool. But there's been times I've left Lineberger Park walking, making phone call after phone call because people following me and stuff. I remember I got hemmed up in Subway over there by the water tower. And people act like they're going to get me. And Frankie, if I'm not mistaken, Frankie Lou and Slap K pulled up, picked me up.
Gotcha.
But I've been on both sides of it. I've had people that I'm still talking to this day. I'm cool from back then. And then I got people that I don't know if it'll be a situation when I see them or not. And then I had people back then in that time period. There was plenty of situations. I've been into several scuffles and stuff over that. So it's I've been through it. That's why people they say, "Why are you so emotional or you so sensitive when it comes to this battle rap stuff?" Because I've been in the gutter. I've been that month getting beat up because they didn't feel my stuff and I was white and messed the cipher up or messed the battle up. Right. So, yeah, of course I get sensitive about this. I mean, I've been through it. I earned my stripes. I didn't just say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this one day." I came from the ground up. So
with that being said, you was breaking down, the winning had you fall in love with it.
Mm-hmm.
So what brought you back though? Now you said you're coming back. What's bringing you back?
I've had so many people tell me that I couldn't do it. That because of everything that's went on in my lifetime up till now, I wouldn't be mentally capable to do it. Mm-hmm. I'm 30 now. Gotcha. So that means 15 years ago we was just talking about. So when it comes down to it, in October I'll be a 16-year vet. Mm-hmm. In my mind, I got that old school, I guess you would call it Wu-Tang, old school, hardcore, gritty hip-hop attitude when it comes. Don't tell me I can't do something, because I'm going to come back and do it. Oh. And then when I first sat down and wrote for my first joint, I think it was 32 bars. They was doing an event, and they said, "Look, just have something ready. And if you got a chance when we do the cypher, we'll just let you spit it, whoever you going to spit at." Mm-hmm. Midway into me spitting, they pointed me at a guy named Tiz, mm-hmm. which was the last battle that dropped of mine, mm-hmm. the newest battle. Before that, the preparation for them bars, mind you, I didn't have them ready for him. I just had them ready to spit at everybody like, "Hey, I'm back, and you won't notice. I'm here." But listening to it, I was like, "Yeah, this is what time away has done to my bars." Mm-hmm. Like compared to how I used to work, like this me right now would kick young me's ass. Mm-hmm. Freestyle wise and written. Gotcha. So whenever I started writing, I wasn't even really planning on coming and spitting it. I was just like, I'm gonna come and support it, watch it, and be it like that. Just come back as a fan and watch. And then after hearing certain people, I was like, let me go over this in my head before this cipher started. But ultimately, it was hearing the progression in my pen, mm-hmm. and how much better I done got. Because I've always told myself in battle rap, ain't nobody messing with me. Can't nobody touch me. Gotcha. I'm the greatest of all time. Gotcha. And I've even said that and went into battles and got trashed. Mm-hmm. But I always kept that mentality. And then over time of not even watching battle rap, every now and then when a celebrity or two big names would go at it, I'd pop in and watch it on YouTube. Gotcha. But for the most part, the past 4 years, I couldn't tell you who some of these people are. Just for the simple fact, I left it alone. I left such a sour taste in my mouth my last stay, to I was like, I don't even want to watch it. I don't even want to see it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to write it. But then I sat down and wrote them that round. I was like, yeah, I got to do something with it. If it's this good, I can't let it sit stagnant. Gotcha.
So you said something earlier as well about, and you just brought it up. You said back in the day you couldn't come with written stuff. Yeah. So what's the difference between a written battle and a freestyle battle? And do you have to write for every battle now? Is that a must? Can somebody get up there and freestyle, or will that make them look whack if they did?
For the most part, for me, I like to try to use a mixture, because when I write, I'll leave spaces empty. Okay. So 9 times out of 10, I'll write before I even know my opponent's name. Okay. It's because my writing is like that. But when it comes to freestyling versus writing, I personally don't have to write for each battle. Okay. I have the ability to get up there and I can bar for bar go back and forth with you and rebuttal everything you got to say. Okay. Just because when I started rapping, I started as a freestyler. Gotcha. Some people it's hard to do, but if you break it down mentally, anybody can freestyle. I can't stand when somebody say, I can write, but I can't freestyle. Yeah, you can. You're freestyling on paper and then reciting it after you learned it. That's true. That's true. But back then, your question was the difference between it now and then. Mm-hmm. Then it was frowned on because nobody had done written battles. So when it come to writing for a battle, that was frowned on, like you're cheating, like you're using a cheat code now. Because now you're going from your skill up here as an MC to just come off the top with it to, oh, you going to pre-prepare for me. Now, that's not fair. When I could have prepared for you, but I freestyle. Nowadays, everybody, now that there's money involved, there's sponsors, you got caffeine, you got Twitch, you got all this other stuff involved in it, inside the politics of it. It's best that people, unless they're a freestyle artist, like Sirius Jones, a lot of people don't know, he don't really prepare a lot of his stuff. He's a freestyler. He's a natural freestyler. Mook's bad about that too. What people don't realize about Mook is when he goes on forever and ever and ever, that's because now he done ran off of the page and he's freestyling, or he done pushed his page to the side. Now he talking to you.
Gotcha. Like personally talking.
Like that's my favorite battle rapper all time is Mook, K-Shine, and Arsenal would be a toss-up between Arsenal and Lux.
Gotcha, okay.
But I don't know. Like, to answer your question, no, I don't got to write.
Gotcha.
I choose to because I know everybody's going to, and I'm still in that mentality, not messing with my pen.
Gotcha.
My pen and my performance now, before I didn't have performance. Now I got performance, I got animation, and social media now. I got following.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So is animation key?
When it comes to what you're talking about. Because you can't sit here and say, I got a 9 so big, but you're holding your hands like you holding a shotgun or something. You feel me? Like you can't sit there and it won't make sense. Yeah. But when it comes to certain bars, if you animate it just right, it's going to hit harder in the room than it would have if you just held your hands by your side or bop side to side and said it.
Gotcha.
Like if I'm saying I'm going to sit here and let the drum beat on your chest like something, and I'm sitting here doing like this, that make no sense because the chopper don't do this.
Right.
So it all depends on what the format is and what you're actually saying with the animations. Gotcha. Some people can do it because they got that voice and that presence. They don't need the animations. They just say it. But it really depends on a multiple of things. It depends on what you're saying, the person, and really ultimately it depends on the crowd that you're in front of. Because at the end of the day, that's what you're there for. Yeah, you're here to outdo the other person. But as MCs, what battle rap originally is and what it still is today is that crowd is what matters. Just like a job, the customer's always right.
True.
So that's why I don't worry about what they got to say to me, what they got prepared for me. It's my biggest opponent is this crowd I'm in front of. I get this crowd on my side. Only way you're going to beat me is you get it on your side harder, or what you got to say is harder than what I got to say.
Gotcha.
So.
Gotcha. Now, it's one thing you kept saying that I noticed. You keep saying the politics of it. Is the politics making the game of battle rap go downhill? Or is politics making more money for you? Or what is politics doing for you? What is it doing for the sport now?
Well, I've got paid here and there back in the day. But now I have actual management, so anybody looking to book me, that's Angela Covington on all social media platforms. That's my management team. That's my whole nine. So politics of it, I would say in a whole universal realm scheme of things, it's at an all-time high. So no, I would not say politics driving into the ground. I would say certain politics regional, certain battle leagues and certain people that run certain stuff. It depends on relationship with those political figures inside of battle rap on what holds the actual battle rapper back. I don't see anybody being able to hold the culture back. The culture is a culture. You can't stop that. It's a force. It's something that's here. It's a part of history that's going to become historic the more along down the road we go. There's nothing stopping it. It's like hip-hop. It's going to evolve, but we'll always have hip-hop. That's why I can't stand when somebody say hip-hop dead. No, that form is not relevant right now.
Right.
Hip-hop will never die. Just like country music. People always want to hear some kind of sad or some kind of let's go get drunk song.
Yeah, all the time.
But the politics of it, no, I don't see it dragging it down. If anything, I see it furthering it. Now, as far as people, because I've done it myself, people complain, we can't watch Smack on YouTube no more. Every now and then they'll drop it, but we done seen it 100 times on the app. Well, then stop worrying about YouTube. Go get the app. Because the route I'm on here soon, my stuff's going to stop being on YouTube.
Right.
I've got a goal in mind, and I've got some things to announce on here, people. That y'all gonna be sick. What Cat Williams said a long time ago. You ever see somebody get that "I'm sick to my stomach" face? There's gonna be a lot of people watching this interview seeing that. What I got to say, I'm telling you, I got some stuff in the bag. And anybody that was at my last two events, know it's a totally different Chrome than anybody's used to. I'm not Lil C Chrome no more. I'm not regular Chrome. I'm not that guy that used to all the time rapping like this and MF for every other bar. Like, I'm calculated. I'm seasoned. I'm telling you, I've got some, yeah.
Well, since you mentioned it with your name, why did we go from C Chrome to Cameron Chrome? What was the change there? Why did we make that shift?
Well, it goes back to the shift where, like I said before, with Carolina Premier, the politics wasn't the main problem. Conducting myself the way I did was the main problem. And the C Chrome name, I got that at the age of like 13, 14. Like I said, my pops was what he was. One of the many things my pops done was dealt arms. So from 13 up, I had access to whatever I wanted without them knowing about it, because they had so much of it, I could just take what I wanted. Wouldn't even miss it. So I was the kid in Firestone, the white kid that if you was around that age and you was in that gangbanging lifestyle, you needed a gun, who you gonna come to? So every time you seen me, you seen some kind of Chrome. That's why everybody that's battled me back in the day, see Chrome gonna see Chrome. That's why I didn't work with me, because, okay, these are words. I've been around guns my whole life. I knew what guns were before I knew what they did to people. So the name switch was more of a maturity through business and through mentally trying to conduct myself better and more professional. And like, because Frankie Lou, he's done so much instrumental stuff as far as trying to keep me relevant in battle rap, because I show my ass and I'll go off the deep end and snap on somebody. And that goes back to the sensitive stuff. And people don't understand, but like I said earlier, I've been through the trenches with this. I had to earn the right to be able to do this as a white battle rapper. So the switch from C Chrome to Cameron Chrome was my government name is Cameron Chrome. Not my form, I'm not gonna put that out there, but my name is Cameron Chrome. And whenever the BMI stuff came into play with my music, I had to have an artist name to file under, and I'm not gonna put C Chrome because there's already a couple other ones that's on a whole nother region than what we're in. So I was like, well, I can't use that name, and I don't want to use that name because it's tied to such of a bad rep because of my actions and my attitudes with people. So I was like, well, if I'm gonna be professional, Cameron Chrome sounds like it would sell a lot more than C Chrome. So it's a no-brainer. And then when it comes to explaining it, it's like it's a lot better of a story to say, look, this is my government name, this is what C is, as far as a business perspective, than to say, oh, I did this gangbanging, da 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 da. That's why the C Chrome's there, because of Crip, da 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 da. It's just a lot more professional to have that Cameron Chrome name than the C Chrome. Do I regret changing it? To an extent, because everybody from back in the day that know me from my start knows me as C Chrome. I've never changed that name until changing it to Cameron Chrome. So
do you still answer to it?
I still randomly will have people do it. Like Lucky had the little Easter event the other day on Easter, and I took my kids out there, some of them to go party or whatever with them. And Ace Rockwell was the first one that said it to me. Because he stopped me, he seen how big I got, and he's like, C Chrome? I was like, God, it's been forever since I heard that. Because when I stepped away. Didn't even tell people I did music. Randomly, I'd get people, oh, you that dude from YouTube? Nah, bro, you got me mistaken. Really? For 4 years, I hit people with that. I lived in New York and had to hit people with that. That should tell you something of that much I've done on the internet, that I went to a whole nother state I've never been to before. And people walking up on subways and stuff. You that white boy from YouTube? Nah, bro, you got me mistaken.
All right, so question. Would you moving to New York? You got the tats, loyalty and everything else. Did you have those same tats when you were performing?
Some of them. I'm pretty sure I had all of them at one point in time on footage before I went up to New York again. But originally, I don't think, because I went to New York and came back before my stint in Carolina premiered. So these came, the loyalty, respect, and the Carolina, I don't know if it's this side. No, it's not. It's this side. Let me be real about it. This is Carolina Premier's logo and their initials. That's how loyal I was trying to be to their league.
Gotcha.
But like I said, the way I conducted myself amongst the politics involved, it didn't work out. I ruined it for myself.
Yeah.
But the tattoos, yeah, I when I went back, I had all the face tattoos.
So how did you get away with saying it wasn't you if they noticed the tattoos and everything like that?
Well, the only tattoos I had when I initially went to New York was the ones above my eyebrow and the money bag.
Gotcha, okay.
So a lot of people didn't believe me. A lot of people hit me with that, man, you BS and that's you. Like, nah, bro, me and him just got the same tats. I know you're talking about. I watch him all the time. But I just didn't want that. Well, spit something right now and then. I'm like, I'm trying to get away from that. I'm trying to come and do something different.
Right.
What a lot of people don't know is when I went to New York, I tried my hand at stand-up comedy.
Okay.
I've done it in Charlotte. I've done it all over the place.
How did you do with that?
I'm my own world's worst critic when it comes to stuff like that. Anything outside of music, I feel like I'm trash at.
Okay.
But I made people laugh. It originally started because I went to this club with this girl that was doing random stand-up. Anybody could actually get up there and do what they wanted to. And we sitting there drinking, and naturally you try to impress the girl, and she's like, wouldn't it be something if you got up there? And I'm like, 2 more shots of Hennessy. I guess I got to get up there.
You got to do it.
Now I got to get up there. And I got up there. I was like, well, this is kind of fun. Because now I'm like, whenever I get on stage, I'm like, the thing I watch the most on YouTube is 85 South.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've been a big follower of Carlos Miller and DC Young Fly. I followed DC Young Fly before he was even on Vine, back when he was just doing music.
Okay.
And so I'm a roast comic. I will get up there and tell stories about my life to an extent, and then I'll catch people that's not involved in it, and I'll get them. That's what people don't realize. When you roast the crowd, you get them involved.
Right.
Just like when old comics will ask the crowd questions. That's my form of asking the crowd questions. And I applied that to battle rap now that I'm back, too.
Okay, so you learned that?
Yeah, like my next battle, when it dropped, we did the face-off and we did the battle. But my next battle, when it dropped, you'll notice I talked to people in the crowd and asked them questions in the middle of my bars. Like one of my bars was, hey, yo, boom. He's like, what's up? Growing up was constant time out. He's like, why is that? Because I always had a corner to while on. So I had that interaction, and I learned that from trying the stand-up stuff. The more you get the crowd involved, now the more you got control over the crowd.
Yeah.
Now you can take the crowd in whatever direction you want to take them in, as long as you keep that same energy and you keep them hooked. So
with your time away being in New York, what happened up there? What was that process like? I know you was reflecting on what you done in life. Mm-hmm. You came back mature, you grew. Mm-hmm. So what did New York do for you besides just the stand-up to help you on stage? What else did that help with?
Originally when I went up there first as a way to try to start new, build a life. Got up there, was there about a week. I'm going to say Binghamton, Norwich, upstate, toward the Peace Bridge and the Canadian border. Gotcha. And when I first got there, it was an experience of itself because nobody told me how cold it was.
Oh, it's cold.
And I showed up in gym shorts, slide, and a tank top. And jumped right back on the bus getting dressed in front of everybody. I didn't care. I'm from the South. You don't like what I'm doing, you ain't got to watch.
You ain't got to watch.
But I get up there, and within a week, my ex-fiance, ex-wife, whatever you want to call her, calls me and tells me something wrong with one of my kids. So I drop that head back. Get back, nothing's wrong.
She just want to see you?
No. Oh. We was on the outs. We was already doing paperwork and all that. I get back down here, make sure my kid's straight, go right back up there. Originally, I went up there, was supposed to get with some of my family that's up there that done built some stuff while they up there, and I was going to get with them. Now, when I come back, they done went somewhere else, and they're not in the same place, and New York's so big, it's hard finding people if you ain't got contact information.
That's true.
When I left New York that last time, my phone got dropped and never got recovered. And it was one of them cheap ones that you just go in Walmart and add a card to. It wasn't no service you can call and get your stuff moved to.
Right.
So when I went back up there, I went up there empty-handed. I went up there like, I'm going to start something. I got lucky, and a guy that I used to work for in Lincolnton at a family-owned restaurant happened to have a fish market on the dock of Manhattan.
Okay.
So when I got back up there, he was like, I ain't going to lie, for the first week, I was pretty much homeless. And then after the 5th day, I was just sleeping on a bench, and he walked by. He's a Greek man named Tasso.
Okay.
And he walked by. He said, Virgil? I looked up, and the only people that got my job applications knows my government name.
Got it.
And he seen that. I looked up. He said, you need a job or you need a cot to sleep on? So I immediately started working at the docks for him for $17.50 an hour.
Okay.
Up there, that's not much, but to somebody that ain't paying rent or living nowhere, that's where the hotel's at is cheap.
Yeah.
And it just went from there, and then ended up moving around New York a lot. I lived in Manhattan. I lived in Flatbush. I've been in Brownsville. I've been in Red Hook. I've been in Hell's Kitchen. I've been all over New York. I've been all over Philly and New Jersey.
Okay.
So it did a lot being up there, because a lot of people down here in the South, we think we the hardest thing walking. And to some extent, some people it may be truthful.
Right.
But the majority, you drop them in another environment like California or New York or something like that, a lot of them ain't going to survive, because they're going to try to get out there and puff their chest out and realize there's more people with bigger chests. You're not always going to be the biggest dog in the yard. You can try to be, and you can dedicate your life to being, and you might get close, but there's always going to be somebody better, slicker, faster, stronger. There's always going to be somebody that can top what you can do. Right. That's what the whole rat race is in music, for me anyway, and in battle rap. The rat race for me is, I'm trying to be the best. I'm trying to be the best to the point where if I can, I'm going to beat the best in order to be the best. So it did a lot, and I reflected a lot, but for the most part, I tried to, in the best way to explain it, have a new identity in life. Like, I didn't want to be C. Chrome no more. I didn't want to be Cameron no more. I wanted to be a whole nother person. I wanted to go to New York, start all the way over, and then when I come back in a better position in life, more money in my pocket, bank account set up, and the whole nine. And when I came back, for the most part, it started going good. I had my own label at one point in time. I actually had artists signed to it, Petty South Entertainment.
Okay.
My main producer at the time wasn't going to speak on it. I'm going to go ahead and speak on it just because I don't feel salty at all.
Gotcha.
But I didn't do too much because I was on there watching your interview with Frankie Lou. And if you notice in the comment section, there's a person in there calling me Mr. Me Too. We had an amazing business trip. Shout out to Flu. I'm going to go ahead and say it before I talk on this. I have no bad feelings for you. You are my mans. We'll get through whatever we got going through personally and business-wise. But I put out 4 or 5 albums. Me and you both did. So all this Mr. Me Too stuff and whatever you're upset about, contact me personally. Because that's not a good look going on other people. We both supports comments, and we doing that. That's why I cut it short. But we fell out over some bad business. And once again, the way I conduct myself. So I'm not going to completely say, oh, I'm better. I'm a different person now, because it's a learning process.
Gotcha.
But that's another example that the reason he said that Mr. Me Too stuff is on top of the bad business. The way I handled myself about the bad business is why there was them ruffled feathers in the comment section.
Gotcha. I was gonna get to that about you being an artist, you being a producer. Have you done anything else? But since we there now,
Yeah.
Are you still making music despite that y'all partnership is not as good as it is? Are you still recording people and doing stuff like that? What are we doing now as an artist, not a battle rapper, but as an artist now? On that tip, or a producer now. Since you started off in the game as a producer, what we doing?
I haven't produced in years, personally. Here and there, I've engineered my own sessions sometimes when the producer has to step out.
Mm-hmm.
With Flu, it's like me and him's been cool for almost 15 years, 16 years. He's known me since my original start off when I first had a studio.
Yeah.
He had the studio across the street from mine.
Okay.
So with him, I didn't even really have to tell him what I wanted with the music.
Gotcha.
I just email him the beat, show up, hand the loop, and we do it. And it come out beautiful. But for the most part, I haven't really recorded much this year.
Okay.
I'm in the process of, I've got labels, I'm gonna say looking at me, just for the simple fact of there's situations at hand I'm not really going to talk about on camera.
Gotcha.
But I do have actual labels looking at me. I am in possession of beats from them, and I just need a studio to record them in. I haven't had access to a studio in a minute due to me and him falling out.
Gotcha.
And it ain't got nothing to do with the other studios or nothing. It's just I only record where I'm comfortable at. If I'm not comfortable, it's not going to sound right. Gotcha. Not in my head. And there's been other listeners that's listened to some of my music be like, this one's fire. But your mind wasn't right on this one. You wasn't comfortable or you wasn't focused. Something was going on with this one. It ain't even the vocals. It ain't even the levels. It's you wasn't focused. Gotcha. So when people tell me stuff like that, I take notice to it. And I started paying attention and noticing. I'm like, yeah, if I'm not comfortable, I'm not doing it. But I do got stuff in the holster. I do got a project that when it hits, it's not going to hit like any other project I've ever put out. It's not going to probably go on YouTube without it being Vivo. Gotcha. It's not going to go on SoundCloud. It's not going to go on those sites. It's going to go on like Apple Music and all that. Mm-hmm. The deal that I've got going on my hands, you ain't going to beat it. Gotcha. The details in the contract, you ain't going to get a better one. Gotcha.
So coming up and coming, after today, what else do you have that you have in the works that you're working on that you want to share with the people?
Not came up with a name for it. But to put everybody on notice right now, I am starting my own league. I just co-hosted my first event ever that I've actually co-hosted and helped set the card up and get the people booked and confirmed and everybody ready for it and the location and everything. The most part, all the location and the payment for everything, my boy Broadway did. It's the league that he co-owns, Next Level Battle League, based out of Cleveland, Ohio. Mm-hmm. He did it down here at Crank Boy Studios. Shout out to Dominique Crank and everybody over there for welcoming their venue, for letting us bring our people in there and doing what we do. But based off of doing that, I realized I have another talent. That's what people need to realize. Pay attention to what you do in life and the struggles you go through, because you don't realize that the struggle can be showing you that you're good at something else. So I realized I'm good at the business side and the politics side. Remember earlier I said what made me leave was the politics. Yep. To remain here, I'm going to become part of the politics. Gotcha. So everybody that's wanting to gas on your battle rap scene, I need y'all to get with me. All the old heads, all the new faces, all the legends, all the veterans, get with me because I'm starting my own league. And I'm not even going to call it my own league. I'm starting y'all a league. Just like how Slap K and Frankie Lou had the SKTV battle zones at Ferguson Park and Lineberger Park. We're going to bring that back. We're going to bring back freestyle battles. We're going to bring back beat battles. Okay. Raheem's was the last place that actually would put beats on and let MCs spin and go neck to neck. That's true. And I was too young to get in.
Raheem, that's a
long time ago. I used to sit in the parking lot and listen from the back door. Yeah. Like, I remember back when Frankie Lou was 06.
That's when me and Franco had the whole free agent thing going, and I was with him with that when he was 06.
That's back when Boo Man and all them had the Taliban stuff going on. Yep. Before it was all that Rosewood Moneyholic and stuff. Yep. That's what a lot of people don't know. I got these 3 face tattoos when I was Moneyholic. Yeah. I used to be Moneyholic back when they used to have the studio on Liberty Street. Gotcha. But I am starting my own league. I'm booked for a while now, and I'm still open to booking. I've got a battle in 2 weeks in same location as last event. I've got another joint that's coming up in Jersey. I've got another joint that is in the works of talking and booking in Boston. I'm supposed to be going to Staten Island sometime this year to meet with Lex Luthor and Paul Mars of iBattle. Anybody knows what iBattle is, they know that it's up there. A few more steps away from that is what? RBE and Smack. And yes, during my time, I had a battle vaulted for the PGs for Smack. I've been where people are striving to go and wasn't even trying to go there. I lived in New York and ran into the right people. Shout out to Sarah Connor and Poison Pen. Those are the right people that I ran into. But I've got these battles booked up. I've got this project I'm working on. I became a member of Pack Down City. So anytime you see me on stage with the battle, you're going to know that's what it is. It's Pack Down City. And for the most part, I'm wanting that bag. So you got somebody you want me to come kill at any league, all you got to pay is $1,000. It's not even that high. Hit up Angela Covington. She'll book me. I'll show up. When you give me that bread, I'm coming.
Gotcha. So, even though we can reach out to her, Angela Covington, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where can the people find your material at now? Are you still on YouTube? You got any social media sites that people can find you at?
For the most part, it's Cameron Chrome on all social media platforms. YouTube this year, maybe part of next year, I'll have battle footage still on YouTube. Like the last event, people know that they could find us on Twitch. I didn't know until halfway through the event that we was streaming on Twitch. I'm not even gonna lie, that was part of my boy Broadway stuff. That was kind of like a bonus plus. Like that's where the Boston battle come from. He hit me like 3 days after that talking about Chrome. People in Boston was feeling you on the Twitch. And I was like, all right, well, set it up. Bag right, where they at, we'll do it.
Right.
So yeah, for the most part, it's Cameron Chrome on all social media platforms, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I hardly get on Instagram, I ain't gonna stunt with you. Because 9 times out of 10, people are fake on there.
True.
You have like 10 profiles for somebody you're trying to do a feature with and can't get the feature because you can't get the right profile.
That's true.
And I'm not sending my money until I talk to somebody on the phone.
Right.
I don't want to talk to them personally because I know they don't handle stuff like that. There's management, there's people, you got to talk to people before you can talk to people.
Right.
So for most part, all social media is Cameron Chrome. I'm trying to think if I got anything else. Cameron Chrome at yahoo.com if you're trying to get me directly as far as features and stuff. You'll still have to go through Angela Covington unless you're certain people. And those people know who they are. I've reached out to them, but that door gonna close. So get on it now while you can. YouTube the battles, but for the most part, I'm shooting to get on them streamings. That's where the money's at.
Yeah.
Caffeine, Twitch, all that. That's where the money's at. So
before we let you go, I keep looking at you, and I see these tattoos. They just keep sticking out to me. The word loyalty, the word respect, from Cameron Chrome himself. What does the word loyalty mean to you?
Loyalty means everything to me because I had to learn it through life. And the way of learning through life wasn't necessarily me being disloyal. There's been times where I didn't know what it meant and was disloyal. Not while I've had them, but through people being disloyal to me, people not being honest with me and not being open with me. That's what made it mean the world to me. These tattoos are not from any kind of gang affiliation or nothing. The respect and loyalty that keeps standing out to you is what I feel the most out of life, what I believe in life. And it's one hand washes the other. You got respect and loyalty. In order to get that loyalty, I have to respect you. In order to respect you, I got to feel like we can be loyal to you. So one way or another, it works together. Yeah. But the loyalty came, originally the tattoo came because of the Carolina Permit stuff. I want to show them, look, I'm going to be loyal to you. Matter of fact, I'm going to put loyalty on my face because that's what I believe in. So that's how that stepped out. So to answer your question, it's 2 of the biggest things I believe in life is loyalty and respect.
Gotcha. Before we let you go, you got any last things you want to say to the people today?
Tone, that preacher man preach stuff is not gonna work for me in 2 weeks. Here soon, the footage gonna drop for everyday life, and you'll get to see what's coming for you. Understand something. Anybody that's not taking me serious, I stopped taking it serious a long time ago, and now I'm back, and I care, and I'm serious, and I got a goal in mind. And if you're not with it, then you getting rolled right over or looked past. Tone, 2 weeks. You got 2 weeks. You said that's all you needed was 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, I'm going to see you. But I don't think you're ready for that. That preacher man preach is not going to work. You are not loaded lugs. You're not loaded lugs, bro. That's all I got to say left for that. I had to throw that little out there because I know we're probably not going to do a face-off. So I'm going to get my face-off right now.
And with that being said, that's another great show here at Grandosiá TV. So make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Make sure you share this. Make sure you hit the notification bell. So when we go live with our new shows, you will be up to date with everything we're doing. Cameron Chrome, I'm sorry about that.
It's natural. It's natural, man. You've been around since the first beginning days.
Right. So Cameron Chrome, we thank you, man. And that's another great show at Grandosiá TV.
Thank you as well for having me.